Okay. Boom. Now we're live.
Yes,
Greetings, PT. An
yes,
honor again to be with you for the continuum of our episodes on etymology.
yes,
Today, I would like to start with the word atom. Atom.
yes,
We're gonna go with the letter A. A few words. I picked a few words. Obviously, I cannot go and review all the words with the letter A, but the ones we use the most often and the one that really sound weird because there's sounds sometimes that you wonder why they make words with that.
yeah.
Anyway, so the word atom. What can you tell us about the word atom?
Like, like when you say the word atom, for example, the word is first but this A has to be seen as a. A means one, right? When you say a thing, one thing, not two things, one thing, right? One. Okay. Then comes T. Okay. T. Okay. Now T is a crossing. T junction crossing. Okay. Circle. O. Okay. Then M. Matter. Right. So one crossing into a circle in order to create matter. Okay. So what does light, which is not material, have to do in order to become matter? It has to take
Matter.
a crossing into a circle in order to become matter. Okay. So so what is matter which we feel, can touch and feel? Light we can't feel by touching. Okay, so what is the difference between light and matter? There is some transformation happening. So
Yes.
that transformation, a T can be that junction transform T for transformation also into a circle. So when light starts going around in circles, it makes these rings, which then create these donuts called matter. Okay, so the atom is not the atom which they show you at school, with
Yeah.
electron, proton, neutron, and just spinning like that. None of that. It is actually this actual process which turns light into matter, which is there encoded in the word atom. Basically, it's just saying that how matter is made, basically, without actually telling you. And then you can have a whole description in the science books of what an atom is, which is the fake science, which I call the fake science. And then there's the real science, which is inherent in the word atom itself. Okay. So, like if you actually go into real science, you'll find that that's how matter is created. Light goes into circles and then they form these rings and then they pile up and stack up to make what we call as matter. So, M is always ma, and there's mama, mother, matter, all of that is the same thing.
And then when this matter dies, we go into a tombe. A tombe. En français, c'est une tombe. It's a
Yeah,
tombe in English, I think. Tomb. So
yeah,
that same tomb from a tomb, you
yeah,
find it when you go in the ground
yeah,
to a tomb.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, now that's a reverse transformation of matter. Okay, like matter, like your spirit, which is energy, which is called subtle body, which you can call light, you can call it light body, gets out of the matter body at that time. So that transformation is reversed. You spirit body came into the matter, now it's leaving the matter. So that is also a reverse that thing, which is play on that word atom, tom, tomb only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And actually, the reality is that your body should go back into earth because your body is made of earth. So this whole practice of putting bodies into these caskets and burying them is very strange in that way. It's not right because that doesn't allow the body to mix with the elements. Either people burnt it When it burned it, then it went to fire, and then the rest of the ashes went into the earth. Okay, or if you bury it, then bury it into the ground, so it goes into the earth. That's a slow decay. Faster is using fire. So because the body is made up of the five elements, so it has to go back to these five elements, you know, and the process of putting it into a casket and burying it, which is happening in the Western world, is very strange because then the body rots and it can't even get back to earth. And you have these skeletons everywhere. It creates this creepy, crazy thing, and it takes up so much land, which is, you know, these sort of places like everywhere. And now they're saying they're running out of land for these graves, in cemeteries, all of these cemeteries all around. And so it is just ridiculous because when the body used to go back into earth, the same earth would become fertile using that as the manure. So something good was happening, even with the human body after the phenomena called death. But that's not happening anymore because of this practice. So this is a very crazy practice to bring human beings out of touch with nature even after death. Like, it doesn't should not end at just death. It should carry on forward, this practice. So
Yeah, it's like we're shield from all the elements. And I always personally also find it very weird to put yourself in a casket, super isolated and everything.
yeah,
I always say to my wife, put me directly in the ground. If you want in a cardboard box, if you don't want it, but
yeah,
something that can disintegrate easily and
and
can.
because in the Vedic, fire was considered the best because if you burn, then the spirit's attachment to this body also finishes quickly because when it sees the body burnt, it won't hang around trying to re-enter.
Yeah, there's this other practice of burning the body too.
Yes,
Since we're
because
talking about this,
yeah, because that's where because the spirit won't try to re-enter because as long as the body is there, the spirit might think that it can get back and get it running again, you know, and because people have developed so much attachment to their body in their lifetime, that they automatically try to re-enter. Oh, I'm out of it. Let's get back in, you know. And but if you burn it, that takes away any chance of that, and then the spirit has to find other things and stuff and then it's not going to be obsessed about that. So that is also a good thing about burning. And then the ashes and stuff go into earth, make manure, everything same. You know.
so it's a good thing to burn the body.
Yes,
You
yes,
say,
yes, yes.
okay,
Most ideal.
it's the most ideal thing is to burn
Yeah,
the body.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
that's
And
very
then
very interesting what you're
yes,
saying.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
And that's why tomb, tomb, and birth. B is birth again.
yeah.
You come out, and then because you're birthing again, you're gonna be again in another body or another. So B is that for the birth.
So you have more chance to break the cycle by burning your body.
Yes, yes,
And
yeah. At least not for you to hang around as a ghost near it for next 30 days, 40 days, or months.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Take this into thinking for sure.
yeah,
Another word I have here, and some probably one of the most important, I could put self in front of it, but it's awareness. And when we look at the word awareness, it's ness. So aware. So you need to be someone aware should be someone in awe, right? With life, someone always like because everything to me is very mysterious around me. So
yeah,
I'm find myself in awe very often in front of little things, a bird, a squirrel. The squirrel amaze me. Oh my
yeah,
god, I'm amazed by those things. Like things like that. Like I'm in awe in front of a lot of stuff. So is that a good thing to
yeah. I
have
mean,
this
yeah. I
attitude?
mean, the sound, you know, is a receiving sound. When you say just say
Ah,
yeah. Like
yeah,
you see the air is going towards it's entering you.
yeah.
If you say more even enters. Okay. taking thing in, a even more.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like when you're taking something in, which is your surrounding or what you are in, then you are being aware of it, like
Okay.
creating the awareness. Like you're sucking it in, like it's a inner suction, like the is a quick suction, you know. So, which, and then the wave comes after that, like but it's actually about that suction, which creates the awareness. Actually. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the most probably should be. It's good that it's written with the letter A too because it's very
So,
important.
is the first sound, first vowel in the Sanskrit alphabet. Okay, is the very first. But in English, the problem is the A doesn't give you everything. A gives you a sound A, uh, a. It gives you so many sounds, which, but not the always. So that's why in English, whenever the A is written, you can't always say what it is. Whether it's whether it's a, whether it's, you know, you know, in a bat or a cat, it's a cat, cat, but A is a. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, but in Sanskrit you don't get these kind of things because for a there is a different letter. For there's a different letter, for there's a different letter, for all of these variations there are different letters, so you don't get this confusion which you get in get in English, because English is a, more sort of like less compressed language, like they compressed it, and simplified it, simplistic compression, which has been done. So, yeah.
Uh, Another word I have here is the word awake because again you have the but you have the ache, and ache could be a headache, a toothache, and
And
sometimes it's something that hurts. So why being awake would hurt?
see, uh, that thing, like in this world, for example, this world, you know, whenever people wake up, like, like even right now, like even to the reality of the world, it causes something, some degree of pain, the more you know about things, right? you know
Yeah,
that does that, there is an ache to that awake. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, and if even in this world is considered a realm of pain in a way, because you walk on the ground is hard and hot, then you hurt. When it's cold, you hurt. Like when it's this thing you hurt, when it's that thing you hurt. Like, so this is a place, this realm, where pain is not very far away, in a physical sense or a mental sense or any kind of sense. Okay. So,
yeah.
so, so the ache is actually there. Okay, in this world, like, so that is the reality of it. You know, and the actual meaning of AKE, you know, AKE is like kinetic energy. Like once you awake, you become kinetic, right?
Yeah.
When you were sleeping, you were still, you were not moving. Okay. Now, as soon as you awake in the morning, what happens? What is the change? You start
Energy.
moving. You start moving. A moving is what? Kinetic energy. So the K and E is
Yeah.
actually the kinetic energy. Only thing is on this plane, if you do anything on kinetic energy, the chances of you getting hurt are very high, in everything. So that is the thing. But yeah, so it is about actually getting into the kinetic energy, like, from dormant energy. Sleep is dormant
That's it.
energy, and then you get into kinetic energy more. Yes, yes.
Yeah, makes sense. And when I said why would being awake would hurt, I had a few hurt in the last years, especially with family totally ostracizing you and putting
All kinds of
you
things, and knowing the
all
whole
that
system,
stuff.
knowing what the system is doing, knowing
Yeah,
what all is going around the world. Like, I mean, that is not a pleasant.
and it's
Uh,
that's it. It's not pleasant to see my brothers and sisters all mesmerized by an evil system that
See?
all they want is capture their soul and stuff like
Yeah, and even the kind of
pleasant.
activities which are going on around the world and everything, like which more you come to know, the more
Yeah.
it is not. And
So definitely it can hurt. Yeah,
yes,
for
yes,
sure. Okay, so
yes,
I see the sense of the ache in
yes,
there
yes,
today.
yes,
My other word is one that is also very important, and it's ascend. But why is there so much ass in the English language and end? Like you look at this word, the sound it makes, I don't need to tell you what's the sound represent, but as
yes,
end. So
yeah,
why ascending to a higher level of presence or consciousness or whatever would have to do with the ass? Like
yeah.
I
The
don't
thing
get
is,
it.
again, which we just went to the point of English language, that when it says ascend, it's a sound. It's not a sound. For ass, it's a sound. A. Okay. But here we're using a sound. A. Okay. So the thing is that this is not that as which in this word. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So in English, that's where the problem arises, because the same letter is used for so many sounds.
yeah, exact.
A letter. So whenever you use, because by even like people have different accents, so that accents can also change the from ascend to ascent, like
Yeah,
like so. So then as
different
which
accent.
is a, if you look at it in a joke way, it's a good thing. Like if your assness ends, it's a good thing. That means you're ending. Like the more your dumbness is decreasing.
Okay,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
see it
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Ascent. So you're finished being an ass.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
Oh
so but then
yeah,
definitely you're going up, right? Like you're not going down. Like you're going up.
true.
But the actual more clear meaning of ascend is actually what is ending is a S and C, you know,
Yeah,
and SC is a scissor, like a cutting,
yeah,
So you're cutting around in this field. The more complications you're creating, those are ending. That's why you're ascending. You're creating less complications with your mind, with your thoughts, with your intellect, with your
yeah.
consciousness. So more the complications, end of complications, and the end of cuttings and complications. Okay, that's what it means actually. So, and whether you look at it an as and or us and any which way, it'll give you the same meaning, that less of that is happening. Those things are ending, so you are ascending.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
it. You just clarify something for me. I didn't see
yeah,
the positive into the word
yeah,
ascend because there
yeah,
is positivity also in the words. It's just sometimes we're so trained to see just the negative
yeah.
that we barely see what's positive. But yeah, you
I mean,
kinda
all of them have some meaning which actually will only help you in the end,
exact. Yeah, yeah,
finally.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there is no, yeah, yeah,
When you have clarity, it will help you.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yes,
it. That's it.
yes,
Okay. The other word that I have here is important. We got to go into action, but
yes.
also action. It's the shin in there. The shin it could be written SHUN, or you could also say action, shown, an act that is shown. So it's very, again, you can make it sound a few different ways, but what is the act in also? Like maybe
Okay.
tell me a bit more about the word
Okay, so
action.
first let's go to the word act first, because ion is used in so many. Ion is a energy term which is used a lot of times. You know, if you let's look at the ion first. Like, okay, if you see batteries, right, then you see the ion battery, lithium ion battery, right? Like you see the term ion, like forget about the diction like shun one and everything. Just look at I and on. You see it in battery, right? So what does that mean? Ion will always mean some energy is getting created for use. Just think of it as a battery pack. And battery pack you can put to anything. Now we have put the battery pack to act, the word act. Okay. So it's powering that act. Okay, so that becomes action. Like because ion is powering the ACT. No. Now, what is act? Act is the cur. Cur is charge. Okay. And T is transformation. Okay. So a charge transformation means whenever you do any act, you are transforming some energy into something else, right? Whenever you do, whenever you act,
Yeah.
you transform some energy into something else. That's all it's saying. An ion is just a battery pack which helps you do that. That's all. So, so it is every act changes vibration or something. Even in, if you speak something into an environment, does that change the energy in the room? If you say
Yeah.
something, okay, does it change some energy inside you? Yes. In the room,
Yes.
yes. So, act of any kind, movement, you do the hand, the wind starts moving, you know, like act always does something, it always creates some charge change inside yourself, in the environment, everywhere. Okay, and that's what that word is trying to get in a basic science level, a charge transformation. That's all. That's all that word is. And iron is just a battery. So don't go by the diction in English, because whenever you get caught in diction, you will get confused. Look at the letters by themselves. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. That's important what you're saying there because
Yeah.
this is what I have tendency to do to go with the sound only. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just today, you have helped me make sense of awake. Like I was just going by the sound, and the other one that was ACHE and ache or
Yeah.
toothache or stuff. So no, it's true. And again, there's a the shun in there. That's it. Is that why they made also the other sound that is shun, action, action, shun, avoiding something like when you shun someone is
No, I mean not like, but the
it's
word shun comes from shunya in Sanskrit. Shunya, shunya means zero.
okay.
That's a totally different story. When the sh sound
That's a
comes,
you see, that's a
shunya
total yeah.
is zero. Okay, now
Okay,
shunya is zero. So when you shun something, you are reducing the number, right? Like if you shun that, number reduces. You're going towards what? If you shun everything,
you're going towards
what will
what?
be remaining? Zero.
Okay,
Like that shun word has come from shunya in Sanskrit. That's a totally different story. But ACTION is a totally different. It's a energetic charge thing. Battery going for it. Action. Like, that's it's a total energy thing, and that's why they put the ion there. Which is put wherever it's put ion, that means some battery charge is required out there. If you put battery in a toy, it does that toy thing. If it puts in a mobile, then it runs your mobile. If you put a battery into something else, it does whatever that thing does. In a drone, then that flies.
yeah,
Like iron is happening everywhere, whether it's a
yes,
drone, whether it's a mobile, whether it's anything. So,
yeah, yeah. There's
yeah.
also the word active. If you look at active, there's the hive in there, like a beehive. So it
It's not a hive because hive will have an edge. It's IVE.
IV. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not hive. It's
yeah,
IV.
yeah, IVE. Okay, E energy, V voltage, I current.
Ah, yeah. Look at the letters. The
Yeah,
letters, very
yeah,
important.
yes, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Attention. There's attention also. Very important to put like you say all the time. This is probably I think you say in your book is the most important word or something or
In a way, because attention is what we have. Most of the time, what are we using? We are putting attention, like right now, you're putting attention on what I'm saying. Okay, that's where your attention is, because that's the thing which human beings have. Two things: one is attention, one is their body. These are two things which they can use. They can use their body, and they can use their attention. Human beings have two main things which they deal with, you know so it's a attend. ION is again energy for being attent, but what is attend? Like a crossing of energy. Okay, and N, T again, which is happening in front of you, in front. Okay, so in your surroundings, so your internal crossing is dealing with the external crossings outside, and for doing that also you need energy. If you don't eat food, for example, okay, will you have any attention left?
No, that's it.
No, no, because then the battery will not power. There will be no ION. No ION means no attent.
No. Oh, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so
No,
for
you
even the
need
attent,
fuel. You need fuel to be attentive for sure.
attent, yeah, so even the attent requires the fuel,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if
yeah.
you say you're attentive, that means your energy is high, your IVE is strong. That's why you're being able to be more attentive.
Fuel is one we're gonna look when we get to the letter F because
Yeah,
there's the few and the L. Yeah.
yeah.
Another word that we use with the letter A and like outrageously all the time, it's appreciate. The eight. Why is there so much eight in the words? Like we also you take the word eight ate, it's HATE, but you also when you ate in the present time, it's eat, and eat is also HEAT. So you eat.
Yeah, that
So
was a good thing. 8 ATE is there, which I appreciate, and EAT is there. 8 EAT is the same thing. But when you appreciate something, like for example, if you appreciate some music, you are eating that music at the time. You're liking the taste of it, just like you eat food and you appreciate that. Oh, I enjoy this, or this sound I enjoy, or this something I enjoy. Like that very act of appreciating is an act of eating at some level. Whether you will be able to digest it is another matter. like, like,
yeah.
what will happen after digestion is another matter, but it is an actual act of eating only. When you appreciate, you ate. You actually ate. There is no doubt about that. Like, there is.
For
Yeah.
myself, I have tendency to use the word appreciate love
Mm.
always when I say, "Oh, I appreciate love what you're doing for me." Is that also something because the eight? I don't know why.
But because eating will always happen whenever you. But because people think eating is just about food, they associate the word eating. You know,
Food,
but you're eating the air always, all the time, right? But you
food
don't
for
realize.
thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So thoughts, music, sound, energy, all things. So it's not a negative word. It's just a processing. Eating is a process, and then digestion is the next, and there is more processes after that. You know. So you're hearing me right now. You're hearing my words. Then you're taking them. You're eating them. Now you're going to process them. Okay. There's a processing and all of that. So it is just part of nature. This is how nature works. There's nothing negative about it. So,
that's it. So it's not about the eight HATE. It's
no,
about
no.
eating.
Yeah. When age comes, we'll discuss why that turns into negative.
Because that's why, if not, we would not have letters or spelling. Like we would just speak sound. But there's a reason why we spell words. We have letters coming together. It's to make
Which is
sense
much more
of it.
important. Which is much more important because a lot of the meanings are hidden by the way you pronounce them. The way in English things are pronounced hides the meaning of
Yes.
the words,
Yes.
the actual plain, real meaning of it.
Okay, I have two more probably we're gonna do before we end this one. Age. Age is the same thing in French. It's âge, but âge we put like a chapeau on the A, là,
Yeah,
as an accent circonflexe.
yeah.
But yeah, age. It's three letter A, G, J, G, J. I had problem in English all
AGE,
the time. G,
age,
G.
AGE.
It's the inverse because
Yeah,
G. That's another thing. G, et G is J and G in English. Like the G is
yeah.
J in English. But for like,
I mean,
wait,
if you see the word G actually in English, okay, which is comes in geometry and gravity and G and a lot of things, Freemasons use the G. Whole lot very big, it becomes God, and everything. With generator, okay, like so, how much energy E has been gened to you, given to you in this lifetime? That is your age. Like when you're born, certain amount of energy is given to you, G, with for this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That's how many breaths people call it. Like anything you want to call it like that, which you will stay on earth. So your age is fixed by birth. The moment you're born, the total amount you will have on earth is already fixed at that time, at that point, which can be changed under certain circumstances, but as a whole, it's fixed, and that is the G. So the G is a very fixed thing. The fixed amount of E, a fixed amount G of E energy. So that is, people call it number of breaths, people call it different things, but it is the actual reality of what
Yeah,
that word is trying to
because we
communicate.
have such. The other day I was watching something. I think it's on YouTube. Some kind of guy living in the forest or something, and they were asking him his age, and he didn't know. Like he lived like a child born in nature. Do you think he's gonna keep track of a calendar and all that stuff to say, "Oh, I'm 48 years old"?
That's not
Like,
what age is. Age is like total amount of breaths a being has on earth, before you leave this physical body. Okay. Even child living in nature or jungle will have certain amount of breaths before. That's it. So it can count things by breath, or it can count things by sunrises or moons. Like people say, this many sunrises ago, or this many moons ago. Moons means the phases of the moon, 14 days. People used to keep track of time like that, you know, any which way. But my point is, finally, human time is decided by breath. How many number of breaths you have got on earth, basically. And breath has its own timing, and that's on a deeper level, that's what age is, you know, like
that's why they
defined.
want us
Yeah,
to focus
yeah,
on the what we know about age, like a
yeah,
number.
yeah, yeah. And
Like,
that number will be fixed for people depending on the number of breaths, basically. Actually, number of times sun goes around, one season, we call it a year. you know like,
yeah,
yeah. So whatever, there are markers in nature for those repetitions in time, you know and our own
a
marker is our breath. So
year maybe you should hear.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway, that's it. So, Lara PT, we're gonna finish this one with this,
yeah,
and we'll probably come back with A again because I have a few words: architect, advantage, advice. That's a weird
yes,
one
yes,
again, but
yes, 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 yes,
we'll have a
that,
chance to look at it.
yes, yes.
Okay, our job. See ya. We'll be back next Wednesday. Boom. We're out.